In Skyrim, you are supposed to be a hero, and what's more heroic than killing all your enemies with only one attack?
Helping the weak, honor,
Shut up.
being...
This is why I ask myself, can you beat the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim with only one hit kills? The rules are simple. If I attack an enemy, they'll have to die in one hit. And if they're hurt by the environment or other NPCs, I have to be reasonably sure that my attack would have depleted all their health either way. I'm not forced to attack every hostile character I find, but I'll try to kill most of them. Now, on with the show. We get captured and sent to death. Classic start. I chose an orc because the orc special power doubles your damage for 60 seconds, and named myself after the most damage dealing Twitch emote, that also had an orc in it. I escaped the execution, but my hands are still bound and there are no enemies. Except for the huge dragon. So no need to care about killing. I make my way inside and free my hands. For this encounter, I already need the lowest difficulty, or else I won't be able to one-shot the Imperial. After the prologue, the majority of the game will be on the Adept difficulty. I kill another couple of Imperials, make my way to the torture chamber and finally get a high damage weapon. From now on I can dispose of enemies easily. We exit the cave and arrive at Riverwood. For this challenge there are 3 ways I can choose to one-hit kill. Stealth, for the damage multiplier, an exploit that will make my weapons obscenely strong, or a weapon that can one-shot kill by design, the Maroon's Razor. I decided to avoid the exploit. Stealth isn't useful to kill huge dragons, so I chose the Razor. But to get it, I'll need to be at least level 20. Since I don't think I can clear dungeons easily, I am leveling by paying a teacher and taking my money back later.
Plateau in no way endorses paying off your student loans with this method.
I level archery to 50 with Fendel, then I go to Markarth, when I do the highest pay, lowest effort mission in all of Skyrim, with absolutely no moral consequences. The elves are just pranking this fella with the amulet, don't worry, we're a hero, remember? Now I level sneak to 50 with Garvey, while increasing pickpocket to 80 at the same time. I take a couple of levels of one-handed weapons, but at this point I'm so bored that I decide to start collecting the items for the Razor, even though we can't start the actual quest yet. Thanks, Todd. First step is Morphle. I simply enter a house and steal it, call it a reverse Santa. Next, we have to kill an orc captain in Cracked Task Keep, but at this point I can increase my damage by 15 times with a knife while undetected, make it 30 times with the orc power. It's like stealing a knife part from an orc. Or at least, that's what I thought. Turns out, if you get to level 20 without upgrading your equipment, you still suck. But your enemies are at level 20. Why didn't I do this before leveling, you may ask then? It's because I'm dumb. I then go back, try to buy a better knife, but I'm either too poor to afford it or too unlucky to find it. I then try to see if I can find one at the Dwarven Museum, and I can. I pick the lock, steal it, and have no problem whatsoever with the town guard. It's not like an army is following me. Well, I guess I won't be able to go to Markarth anymore, but at least I'm not an enemy of the people like that time in Chicago. With my new toy, I make my way through the keep. It takes a couple of trials, but I managed to kill everyone inside. I then remember that the Razor parts are in the basement, and that all of this was pointless. I could have simply picked the lock. Well, they were bad guys, right? I'm still a hero, right? For the last piece, I have to kill a Hagraven on top of a mountain, and this time I'm sure she has it on her. Luckily, you can avoid all the dungeon leading to the top by using a horse. Isn't Skyrim beautiful? This is the part of the run that I am most scared of, so I brought with me an invisibility potion just in case. Also, I now notice that I'm naked and I have no idea why. I said you can avoid the dungeon, not that I remember how to avoid it. I cleared the last part. This Agraven is always at level 20, so leveling didn't put me at a disadvantage here. Luckily, I brought the invisibility potion, because it was impossible to go near her without being noticed. But at last I managed to kill her and get the last piece. Now I went to Dawnstar and met Silas. He is the one that sends you around Skyrim to get the pieces of the Razor to honor the cult that almost destroyed the world, back in Oblivion. But since I am the greatest hero in all of Skyrim, I'll kill him. We have the parts, and we go to forge the Razor at the Maroon's Dagon Shrine. Here I did a little miscalculation. See, he fights back, and I forgot that he is actually a pretty powerful mage. I couldn't get a sneak attack on him, so after a couple of attempts I managed to run away from him, go to Whiterun to buy some more invisibility potions and get back. I honestly had no idea what Silas would have done when left there alone. Turns out it's the boring option. He simply waits for you. I killed him. Now we have the Razor. This weapon counts as a dagger, and a grade 1 at that. but has the small chance to one-shot any enemy with one attack, a little less than 1 out of 50 times. Adremora happily volunteered to show you how it works. Also, I got Salus' clothes to match the razor. Weapon in hand, we can proceed with the actual main quest. In Dragon's Reach, we meet the Jarl and the Kurt Wizard. They sent me to retrieve a tablet in a ruin nearby. Apparently, Todd Howard wanted to show me some NPCs. Because on the way there I met a thief, some thugs that wanted to beat me, and a random Argonian on a quest to waste my time. It took 20 minutes to get rid of this guy, and that was the game telling me that maybe taking the razor first thing in the playthrough wasn't a very good idea. Killed some bandits outside, then some inside, came to the conclusion that my boy is useless at this level, stabbed some webs, stabbed a spider, and stabbed the guy running from me. Here, I sneaked past some cool name old zombies. And by sneak past, I mean I brutally murdered them while they were sleeping. I then easily did 20 attempts to kill a troll, succeeded, and managed to stab an even older zombie to death. It took a couple of trials, but I didn't even need to use the razor's ability. This may sound like a good thing, but simply makes me dumber for taking it so early. Tablet in hand, I got back, but we are informed that a dragon is attacking the city. Went there and started the first fight where the razor is actually useful. Because making a stealth attack is almost impossible, I had to rely on the razor's ability to kill in one hit. After becoming a tasty snack, I got a 1.98% chance and won the fight. The guards did damage the dragon, but the razor kills without considering the HP, so it is a one-shot kill. You can insult me in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Then I was told someone named Greybird summoned me on the highest mountain, and me thinking it was a pirate's name, I went. Climbing the 7,000 steps was a breeze, mainly because I chickened out in all the fights. The Greybirds wanted me to shout at them. I told them that I probably had corona, but they didn't care. My next mission was to get the horn of Jürgen Windcaller. I'm not sure why they needed it, since they called me in a city from a mountain with only their voice, but I complied. Went to take the horn, stealth is definitely not broken in Bethesda games, cleared the dungeon without problems, and managed to find the horn. But the horn isn't there. Someone stole it but left a note on where to find them behind. Not a great thief if you ask me. I meet them, and we go to kill a dragon together for plot reasons that I was too bored to listen. I found myself in a free-for-all with hard thugs and cultists, among other things. We see that the dragon is being revived by Alduin, and after only 54 hours of consecutive attempts, I managed to be lucky and kill the dragon. That's what I get for not putting 10 in luck. Our next step is to get inside a Thalmor embassy, because Delphine felt like it. The place became a slaughterhouse after I finished, only to discover that they knew nothing and were all killed in vain. I would be sad, but they were elves, so who cares. Also, I never knew you could fully stealth this part. We then have to save an old guy named Esbern. I make my way down the sewers in Riften. We meet him and we get back. This part was fairly easy, you can simply slit throats left and right while in stealth. There are like 10 enemies total. Now me, Esbern and Delphine have to find a wall to discover how to kill Alduin. We ignore everyone outside, kill a couple of enemies inside, and that's it. Esbern then proceeds to talk about this wall for a couple of hours, just to say that we need a shout to defeat Alduin. We got to the Shout King called guys, they sent me to their master Parthunax. Turns out he is a dragon and committed war crimes. But I did 2 in the last 5 minutes, so we instantly connect. Here we must attack him with a shout, and we obviously don't one-shot kill him. But considering this as an attack, would put an end to all the "can you beat Skyrim with" videos, so simply ignore this part. He says that we need an Elder Scroll, but I already have 4 different versions of Skyrim, so I decide to go to the customer service. An old guy in a nice cave. I've seen worse. He says we need to read the terms of service better, and they can only be found in an ancient ruin riddled with killing machines. Classic corporation. I was expecting this to be the most boring part of the run, but the spiders all died with one simple hit, while the spheres died with one charged hit. Same thing for the Falmer. For the Centurion I used the Orc power and a charged attack. Overall it was pretty easy and fast. I solved the intricate riddle by smashing buttons repeatedly and got a scroll. Went to the mountain, learned the shout to defeat Alduin and tried to kill him with the razor. Problem is, I quick loaded saves trying to get the lucky shot for 30 minutes straight and could not get it. What is supposed to happen here is you defeat Alduin, he doesn't die and instead flies back to Sovngarde. But I can't kill him with the razor. My best guess is that since he isn't supposed to die here, he goes to 1 HP, like all the essential characters in the game. But the razor is set to bring to 0 HP, and thus doesn't work. I looked up the wikis, and Alduin isn't listed as immune to the effect, but I think that's because in the final fight he isn't. Technically, I could have been very unlucky with the Razor, because there is no guarantee that you get a kill after a certain number of attacks, but I don't think that's the case, and anyway I tried all I could with the Razor. I then loaded an older save and tried to forge a weapon with an impossible damage. That is doable, but requires using a straight up glitch or at least an exploit. I could have got one with console command and such, but at that point I considered it too much. I returned to the mountain, watched the cutscene again because I was too dumb to save after it the first time, and fought Alduin the normal way. I'll then say that you cannot beat Skyrim with only one hit kills, even though maybe with a combination of late game equipment, Daedric Dagger with enchantments and poison, Orc Power, potions of invisibility for stealth, potion to enhance one-handed combat, and a low difficulty, you could finish this fight with one hit, maybe. But in any case, Alduin survives and flies away, so it isn't a one-hit kill. Is it a technicality? Sure. Do I want to spend 10 plus hours doing it? I don't think so. Again, free to insult me in the comment section. Now that Alduin is defeated, but not killed, I need to find a way to properly kill him. In order to do so, we need to capture a dragon, to bring us to a portal to Sovngarde where Alduin rests. Luckily, a castle nearby has a machine to capture dragons still functioning after hundreds of years, or maybe thousands. I'm not very good with the lore. First, a truce between the Empire and the Stormcloaks is needed. There's a civil war going on that I may or may not have forgotten to mention. Truce done, we call the dragon, capture them, free them, and go together to Skuldafn. Here, you are supposed to make an epic fight among an army of enemies and multiple dragons. But stealth is balanced, so you can simply sneak your way through the whole dungeon and roll in the portal before the priest closes it. Now I have to defeat the guy to prove I'm worthy. He doesn't die but simply loses the fight and lets me through. At first I tried to kill him with the Razor's ability, but apparently he takes the damage but keeps on fighting. Skyrim is a strange game, I don't know. So I become invisible and with the Orc Power stab him strong enough to win in one hit. Yeah, he isn't dead, but I already lost the challenge, so who cares? I mean, he's dead because this is Sovngarde. Just not by my hand, I think, at least. I meet the other old heroes. We call Alduin bad names. He comes down and gets taken out by one stab. And with this, I was not able to beat Skyrim with only one hit kills. If you did this challenge yourselves, let me know how it went in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like or even subscribe. I see you next time. I mean, you'll see me. See the video at least? Why do I always mess up the outro?